You had your chance. You disappoint me, G, with that opening. You set it up perfectly for the Tupac Snoop Dogg, America's Most Wanted. Two of them, America's Most Wanted, in the same MF place at the same MF time. Ain't nothing but a gangster party.
Welcome, everyone, to Boxing Scene's Top Stories, only on ProBox TV, your boxing channel. I am George DeMatteis. Don't forget to download the app where apps are available to get the full ProBox TV experience, which includes the knowledge and the dimes that will be dropped by our champions. We got Chris Algieri and we got Paulie Malignaggi joining us here on Top Stories. Well, Canelo Alvarez will fight Edgar Berlanga in the ring on September 14th, but out of the ring, Canelo has a different fight with a UFC event occurring in the same city on the same date at basically the same time. Now, Turki Al-Sheikh's estimated 8-figure sponsorship of the September 14th UFC event at the Sphere would, quote, eat Canelo Alvarez's main event across the strip at T-Mobile Arena. But as it stands, ticket sales reveal that both events are essentially neck and neck heading into the final 2 weeks. Now, Canelo told Boxing Scene, competition is good. I take that as a challenge. I'm just going to do my best and take care of my people who support me. All right, Chris, how much should Canelo and the promoters of his boxing event be worried about the UFC event down the strip?
I don't think they should be that worried about it, honestly. And I said that from the very beginning when this was a topic we talked about maybe a month or so ago when these dates were being discussed. I said, listen, it's a different fan base, man. I mean, the Mexican, if it's between UFC and Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican fans are always going to pick Canelo Alvarez. Also, it's in Vegas. It's a lot easier for them to travel. Listen, I've been to countless Canelo fight weeks in Las Vegas. They're awesome. They're a ton of fun. People come out. I mean, people are around all week long. People making a week-long event when Canelo fights. The Mexican fans are ravenous. They're a ton of fun. It's Vegas fight weeks when Canelo fights are awesome. It's a lot of fun. I don't think people are going to miss out on that because there's a direct competition with the UFC. I think true Mexican fans, the Mexican people, like especially native Mexicans, they're much more interested in boxing than they are UFC. Yes, UFC is a global sport. Yes, UFC is wildly popular. But guess what? Canelo Alvarez is wildly popular with Mexican fan base, and that is the majority of the people who do come out for Canelo fight weekend. So I never thought that it was really that big of a deal, and I said, keep the same date, go ahead with it. And I'm glad Canelo did that because he's showing that the power of the boxing community is there. It seems like from the article that we have on Boxing Scene that Dana White seems a lot more worried than Canelo Alvarez does in terms of what's going on. A lot more of the gripes coming from that end, saying that this is going to be a one-and-done event at the Sphere. And they're really rolling it out. But, man, that price tag on that Sphere is astronomical. So interesting that we had a head-to-head where Canelo has to fight somebody outside of the ring or fight an entity outside of the ring. But it seems like he made the right decision going forward. And I'm telling you, late money, there's going to be plenty of Canelo fans coming to watch that fight.
You had your chance. You disappoint me, G, with that opening. You set it up perfectly for the Tupac Snoop Dogg, America's Most Wanted. Two of them, America's Most Wanted, in the same MF place at the same MF time. Ain't nothing but a gangster party. This time in the 2024 version instead of the 1996 version, we got Canelo Alvarez against the UFC. And you know what? They are two of America's Most Wanted. And Canelo Alvarez is his own brand. And that's why I get on him. I get it. I get on him all the time. And I feel like I'm right to get on him. But as I said in another show, it's like when you insult family, only family can insult family. If somebody else insults family, it's no good. You can't go head-to-head against boxing, especially the Turki Al-Sheikh show where he got offended by Canelo and is just joining into the UFC party. Because are you going to help boxing or are you going to compete directly against boxing or just do whatever you want? Canelo Alvarez is shown to be his own brand. It's not the first time he's gone up against UFC. We saw the UFC has tried to go up against him. We saw that in the Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal fight a few years ago when Canelo fought against Kovalev. And we're seeing it here. Obviously, Canelo has no problem. Remember, we were talking about, maybe he's going to fight Eubank in England because the UFC is going to go on a Mexican Independence weekend. Canelo Alvarez can still fight probably the third or fourth option out of the fighters the fans wanted him to watch, and still go head-to-head with UFC. He's that big of a brand, and still go head-to-head with a top UFC card, mind you. He's still that big of a brand. The Mexican-American fan base is very, very strong. As the champ Chris said, yes, they watch some MMA, but it's not like a Canelo night. Canelo night for Mexican-Americans and Mexican fans is like its own holiday. And, of course, for boxing fans in general, this day, Mexican Independence Weekend has always held it's held in high regard, no matter what fight is going on there, whether it was Mayweather, whether it's now Canelo, whether it's going to be somebody else in the future. We've had fights like Trinidad and De La Hoya fought on this weekend and things of that nature. So, I expect this thing to continue to go neck and neck, but fight week, it's going to get really, really crazy in Vegas, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, whenever Canelo has an event, nothing else matters because, according to Canelo, all eyes on me. That's the situation with Canelo. He expressed pride in the tradition, as you mentioned, Paulie, fighting on Mexican Independence Weekend 8 times since 2012. And he says he's pleased to bring joy to the national holiday. Of course, we'll have Big Fight Recap live on ProBox TV after the decision, and we'll have more reaction here on Top Stories. And don't forget to scan the QR code, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. 3 days after Wednesday Night Fights, the best live fight series in all of boxing, it'll be that great main event between Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. This is Boxing Scene's Top Stories.
He's the pride of Guadalajara, the Mexican maestro, the unified super middleweight champion of the world, Canelo Alvarez. His challenger, undefeated knockout artist and pride of Puerto Rico, Edgar Berlanga. It's prime time.
Canelo versus Berlanga, plus Lara versus Garcia. Saturday, September 14th, live on PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.